This meeting is being recorded.
All right. So I gotta get the phone dialed in. Give me a second. All right, guys. So we're back. Okay. All right. Now we're good. We don't have reverb. So we're back. I've left this for probably like an hour or so. And so now it's definitely set up. It's ready. It's solid. So I can demold it and get everything going for that. Again, I'm just removing these clamps. Sort of one at a time, getting them out of the way. I gotta be really careful because I don't want the paddle board to come off and then fall over and land on my foot. You can sort of see the clay is already dried up, so it just comes off either on the paddle board or cracks off separate. Again, this is one of those things where, like, if you use clay for plaster work, you usually just abandon whatever. Like, I wouldn't recommend you reusing it and using it for, like, firing or anything. Disconnect my audio just because I'm pretty sure it was creating an echo. You don't want that. So you can see it's like a perfect little square. It's really hot on the sides because it is, there still is moisture in there. The plaster heats up as it starts to set. So remember, this is really heavy. So you want to support it really well. And you flip it. You can kind of see play perimeter of how we had everything set up in there. And hopefully we will be able to get this out because I did grease it. Again, you might have to get help from the air in order to get it out. And I might have to actually pry it a little bit. But most likely with that chin sort of sculpted area that we had, we should be able to get a tool in there that'll give us the appropriate leverage to get that bad boy out. Again, like I said, the air typically helps in this scenario. This is why it's actually like, it's usually easier to do prototypes that aren't also made out of plaster, simply because if it's made out of plaster, you know, plaster doesn't really have any give to it. It's hard. But if you're making like a prototype of, say, like a clay prototype, or you know, even plastic, like a plastic toy or something, usually those materials might have a little bit of flex or a little bit of give to it. So demolding can be a lot easier that way. But just because something is easier doesn't mean we should always take the easy path. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the air hose over here and see if I can force some air in there. Hoping it comes out a little bit easier. Could also be that we just like, didn't get, there it is. It's probably that mouthpiece that we didn't fill. So maybe that had to like break off or free up. Oh, our nose broke off for some reason. All right. Well, bright side is that we still got pretty good coverage. Again, though, this is kind of a bit of a bummer because we did get quite a few little air bubbles and things on the inside of here. So because I didn't support the structure, from the outside of the cottle boards and sort of double up on the ceiling of the cottle boards, I wasn't able to like agitate it as smoothly. And so yeah, we definitely got some air traps in here. It's kind of a bummer. It's definitely like some Vaseline texture. But keep in mind, like anything that like is an air bubble, that's just going to become like a weird little booger when you go into like the slip casting process. So it's sort of a positive on top of your overall shape. So we'll still get this shape. It's just it'll have a little booger, a little nod, a little bit of something extra on there. And that's really easy to fix again in post-production. You just like, you just carve it off, or you can just use clay and fill in those areas before you cast the slip in, just to fill it in. But I mean, all in all, it's like we got a cast off of it, which, considering that this started as like a crappy plastic mask, and then we took a silicone mold, and then now we have a plaster positive, and we created a plaster mold out of this. Like, it's a lot of multi-layered processes, and we're still getting this sort of level of detail. So, and then now we're going to make a ceramic cast off of this. So we start with one object, and then we make an infinite amount of other objects using a wide variety of materials, which is one of the reasons why I love doing this, is because like everything gets a second, third, fourth, fifth life. But yeah, that's how it turned out. So now we have this big, giant, heavy block mold of Two-Face. Plus positive. Even if he does have a broken nose. Alright, so hopefully you guys appreciated this. Getting to see it from point A all the way to the very end. Again, this is like the process for an open face single part mold. A double part mold is, very similar. There would just be a couple of like keys that you had carved all the way around, and those keys act as like registration marks so that part A and part B sit together exactly where they need to go. Right? Okay. Well, it was a pleasure, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
The recording has stopped.